horror plays on that trigger emotion. So do thrillers, like you said. So it doesn't have to be Shakespeare to be quite amazing as a product.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And even Shakespeare, historically speaking, at the time was basically considered Michael Bay.
Right.
But he's what survived.
It's hard to please everybody or mass numbers of people with the quality of the story. That's why quality stories are
Yeah.
so, they're so amazing, because it's hard to find them. And then, it's easier though to, and I'm not saying the films aren't quality. I'm just saying that it's easier to maybe move with the trope, but get people shocked by a moment on screen, and you can kind of work
Mhm.
with a formula. Maybe formula is the better term.
Mhm.
And horror plays on that trigger emotion. So do thrillers, like you said. So it doesn't have to be Shakespeare to be quite amazing as a product.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And even Shakespeare, historically speaking, at the time was basically considered Michael Bay.
Right.
But he's what survived. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I mean the biggest thing is just treating us like people.
Hmm.
Don't try to walk in on a buyer meeting if you go in. That's
Hmm.
gonna end poorly for you. Um, and just be easy to talk to. The details are complicated. The interpersonal communication is significantly less so.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I guess that that rings a bell for me too, because like you said, everybody in this business is a human being. They get excited by the things that the person approaching them gets excited to buy. In a lot of cases, they get bored by the things that the person approaches them. And I guess when you come with a film to somebody and you don't know how to make it sound exciting or appear exciting, your odds of it actually being accepted as exciting are pretty low. But if you've kind of got something that gets people ramped up at the get-go, it's more likely you're going to get a good reception on it.
yeah. Um, I've been selling Tim Travers a lot, which you can Google, you'll find stuff. Um, and the line that I've generally started with is that it's basically a live action Rick and Morty.
Right.
And that either works or I get glazed eyes.
Right.
It's nothing in between. It is more well, I suppose the one in between was with one buyer who said, I haven't watched it, but I know it's exceptionally popular, so I want to know more. So it's like, but the thing is, Rick and Morty in the States and probably Canada, I
Mhm.
assume, because there's a ton of overlap
Oh
between
yeah.
the two territories.
Yeah.
But outside of the US, Rick and Morty is nowhere near the phenomenon it is here. Like a
Mhm.
bit in the UK, but not the same.
Yeah.
And that's it means that you have to find a different cultural touchstone for it, which makes it a little difficult to figure out where you are putting that exactly.
You've got quite a credit list. I remember looking at that on IMDb before we get started today, and a lot of wisdom there as well. Do you have any kind of program or anything online that people can plug into? I guess, and more generally, like, where do people find you, social media
Mhm.
wise, or whether it's program wise, whatever?
Yeah, thanks for asking. The best place to keep up to date with programs, content, all of those sorts of things is actually the guerrillarep.com/resources,
Okay.
which is my which is my resource pack, which is also my email list.
Mhm.
In that resource pack, you get a free uh investment deck template as well as a free ebook, white paper, festival brochure, and a bunch of other stuff, including monthly digests of educational content all around the business of the industry, sales, distribution, financing, what have you. And I also use that list to announce marquee releases that I do and programs which would include the distribution and finance program that I mentioned earlier. So
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. And now, is that primarily where you prefer to have people look for your material and find you, or are you also available in contact with people through social media and anything like that?
Yeah, the two places I spend the most time on social media are YouTube, because I've really been trying to grow my presence there and my podcast there. And then I probably spend the next most time on LinkedIn or Facebook. And
Okay.
those are all good. My moniker across it is pretty much the Gorilla Rep across everything.
The Gorilla Rep, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the same thing on YouTube. Then the Gorilla Rep would be how people find you.
I believe it's at the Gorilla Rep on YouTube.
Okay.
Most of the time I just when I'm typing it out, I just direct through to the hash
Gotcha.
thing. So it's yeah.
Yeah, I encourage anybody out there to check out what Ben has available on YouTube and through the sites he's mentioned. We'll put that stuff up on the screen, of course. And it's been a really illuminating conversation, because I know, for, like I said at the top, for a lot of us, the distinctions between distributors and sales reps was maybe a little fuzzier. Hopefully we've made that a little clearer here today. Certainly some great information on other fronts as well. So once again, Ben, thanks for being on the show. And to all of you, fight the darkness, put truth in story, and we'll see you next time.